കേൾക്കണ്ടോ? Ralph Waldo Emerson once quoted that speech is power, speech is to persuade, to convert, to compel. Very warm good morning to one and all present here. St. Thomas College, which is currently one of the most reputed educational institutions in Kerala, to celebrate its centennial glories, the Research Department of English had organized a national level elocution competition in 2019. Encouraged by its success, the department proceeds to conduct the fourth installment of the elocution competition today. With immense pleasure, I welcome each and every one of you to this event and also wish all the very best to the participants. To officially welcome everyone, I I invite the head of Department of English, Dr. Anto Thomas. Sir, please.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Respected and beloved Principal, Reverend Father Dr. Martin Columbus, Dr. E.D. John, Vice Principal of the College, Professors Maya Devi Chalaseri and Reshma, Dr. Anupur, the coordinator of the Centenary Memorial Elocution Competition, Reverend Father Dr. Virgin Anthony, the assistant coordinator, dear members of the faculty, the participants of the elocution competition, our beloved students. St. Thomas College celebrated the centenary of the institution in 2019. Under the leadership of Dr. C.S. Biju, the Department of English organized the centennial elocution competition that year in 2019. It was a grand success. Since then, the department has organized the Centenary Memorial Elocution Competition. We have been supported by our respected management of the college, especially by our principal, Reverend Father Dr. Martin Columbus. It is with this sustained fiscal assistance from the management that the department has been able to organize this event successfully. Despite the pandemic situation, we go on with this elocution competition, which has become a prestigious event of the Department of English. On behalf of the organizers and the Department of English, I would like to welcome, first of all, our beloved principal, Reverend Father Dr. Martin Columbus, to this online platform of the Centenary Memorial Elocution Competition, who presides over with the main speech, the presidential address during this inaugural session of the Centenary Elocution Competition. Our principal is a great intellectual scholar from the Department of English, and he knows the importance of the communication skills that should be developed among the students of colleges, especially in Kerala, as well as in the national contest. It is with this great vision that our principal, along with the first organizers during the centenary celebration, wanted to organize this competition as well as to sustain it throughout. Dear principal, you are one of the members of the Department of English and you do not actually require any formal welcome, but for the official purpose of this inaugural session, on behalf of the Department of English, the organizer, the convener, Dr. Anupol, and all the other members, the faculty, and the students, we welcome you wholeheartedly to this function. A hearty welcome to you. Now, I would like to welcome honorable judges who have sustained their loyalty to the Department of English with their presence as judges for many years for this competition. We have a very efficient and able panel of judges. We have looked at all aspects of the judgment of the competition while selecting this panel. We have a veteran professor. We have two younger colleagues from other institutions who are well trained in linguistics and language abilities, who will be meticulously considering every point that is required for an elocution competition. First of all, I would like to welcome Professor Dr. Edwin, the Vice Principal of the College and the Assistant Controller of Examinations. He has been one of the senior professors who guides St. Thomas College even after his retirement a decade ago. Dr. A.D. John has been a father figure to the Department of English as well as to the college, the institution. And on behalf of the organizers of this elocution competition, dear beloved Professor Dr. A.D. John, we would like to welcome you to this program for your judgment and valuable advice to the participants. A hearty welcome to you, Dr. A.D. John. Now I'd like to welcome Professor Maya Devi Chaliseri from the Department of English of Vimala College. She is a disciplined scholar, a linguist who has particular care to phonetics and pronunciation of the English language as well as to all the other nuances of an elocution competition. We thank you for your presence, madam, and wholeheartedly welcome you to this online platform to judge the elocution competition. We would like to listen to your sustaining advice to the participants as well as to the judgment that fairly you would offer to them. A warm welcome to you. The final among the panels of judges is Ms. Reshma from the Department of English, St. Aloysius College, Thrissur. She has been a former student of the Department of English of St. Thomas College. We are proud to have our students who have been elevated to the rank of college professors and who then later on return to the alma mater to support the institution with their valuable guidance. Dear Professor Reshma, we look forward to your advices as a young colleague, and the Department of English, the very alma mater of your college, uh, would like to earnestly welcome you to the panel of judges. A hearty welcome. I would like to welcome all the participants who have joined in to this national level elocution competition. Unfortunately, the pandemic era has not sustained the interest of in taking part in such competitions. Maybe from next year onwards, we will be able to physically organize this event with all the color and pomp and show that it requires. I would like to welcome all the participants to this online platform of the Department of English for this Centenary Memorial Elocution Competition. A warm welcome to each and every one of the participants. Now, I would like to welcome Dr. Anupol, the present convener of this Centenary Memorial Elocution Competition. Dr. Anupol, one of the senior professors in the department, has taken earnest care in organizing this event. And on behalf of the department, I would like to extend words of appreciation as well as congratulations to Dr. Anupol for having come forward to organize this event. We welcome you, ma'am, to this online platform of the Centenary Memorial Elocution Competition. I'd like to welcome other members of the department, Reverend Father Dr. Florgin Anthony, who is the coordinator of the program. Other members of the faculty, especially senior professors like Dr. C.S. Biju, and other members of the department. I also would like to welcome the students, our PG and degree students who will be listening to this elocution competition online. A hearty welcome to all our MA English students as well as UG English dual core program students. On this occasion, the Department of English would like to express our words of gratitude to the management for the sustained support, especially the monetary assistance for the prizes which has been offered by the management of St. Thomas College. I would like to, as a member of the department, we would like to thank our beloved manager, Mark Tony Neelangavil, auxiliary bishop of Thrissur Archdiocese. Our dear executive manager, Reverend Father Biju Panangadan, and all the other members of the committee of management who have been very generous with the Department of English in supporting us to organize this event. I wish every one of you a fruitful time. From the side of the Department of English, we would like to wish every participant all the confidence and success that they aim to, that they may become successful. All cannot become, let's say, the winners, but still all can be successful. We wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. A principle affects eternity. One can never tell where his influence stops. I now invite the support pillar of St. Thomas College, Thrissur, our dear principal, Reverend Dr. Father Martin K.A., for the inaugural address. Father, please.
A warm good morning to one and all. Dr. Andrew Thomas C., HOD, Department of English, St. Thomas College. Respected judges, Dr. E.D. John, Dr. Maya, Professor Reshma, Dr. Anupol, and Dr. Florjin, the coordinators, their faculty members, and their students, the participants, and their friends. In Western classical rhetoric, elocution was one of the five core disciplines of pronunciation, which was the art of delivering speeches. Orators were trained not only on proper diction but on the proper use of gestures, stands, and dress. There was a movement in the 18th century to standardize English writing and speaking, and elocution was a part of this movement. Elocution emerged as a formal discipline during the 18th century. One of its important figures were Thomas Sheridan and Walker. Elocution is all about speech, the power of speech. I'm reminded of the famous speech delivered by Mark Antony after the brutal murder of Julius Caesar. How powerful his speech was. The whole crowd was persuaded by his speech, and they literally started hunting the murderers of Julius Caesar. And that speech always stand in front of us all throughout these centuries, being a classical model for any speech for that matter. Our college, after celebrating Centenary and the Department of English, has started this Centenary Memorial Elocution competition in the national level, and I'm very proud of that. That being continued even during the time of COVID. I hope that this competition will give opportunities to speakers to make them eloquent speakers and to get more and more refined in the art of speech. I wish all the participants all the best and let you be the speakers of tomorrow. With these words, with all your permission, those who are participating online and offline, let me inaugurate this Centenary Memorial Elocution Competition. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Father. So now we are directly moving on with the competition. Sorry. Next, I call upon Dr. Anupol, the coordinator of the event and assistant professor of the Department of English. Ma'am, please.
A warm good morning to all. It's really a proud moment to host the fourth edition of the Centenary Memorial English National Elocution Competition, hosted by Research and PG Department of English, St. Thomas College. I thank the management for allowing us to conduct this competition for the fourth time and the innate enthusiasm that has been shown by the participants for the same. Words won't be enough to thank our principal, Reverend Dr. Martin K., for always being a staunch support and always promoting such competitions. Thank you, Father. I thank all the jury members who wholeheartedly accepted our invitation and is here keenly waiting for the participants to present their elocution. I thank you all. And I thank all my colleagues who had been a constant support for hosting this program, along with my PG students who are here with me, and they'll be with you through the entire competition. And I hope all the participants are ready here. Without you, this won't be possible. So the enthusiasm shown from your part is we are always grateful for that. So I have, and in one word, I thank all the people who helped me in hosting this event. My coordinator, Dr. Father Flurgin Anthony, the previous host, Ms. Christina Jose, and all others who wholeheartedly extended their support to me. So moving on to some of the instructions. I hope you're all aware that you are not allowed to read out your speeches. You have to present it. Secondly, you will be added to the live stream when it is your roll number or your chest number wise order, which is already provided to you. So be ready and you have to watch the competition through the YouTube live. So we are moving on to the competition. The rules will be announced and the particular contestant will be added in. So thank you once again. Looking forward for an engaging session. Thank you.
So moving on to the competition. The first is chess number 1. Judges, please note chess number 1 on the platform.
Ma'am, may I begin? Ma'am, may I begin? Okay, I think I'm audible. Okay.
Yes,
so-
you are audible. Please wait a minute.
Okay.
Okay, you can start.
Thank you, ma'am. A very warm good morning to all. Now, before I start, Let us run our imagination wild for a few moments. Imagine one day you wake up and find yourself unable to lie. It's like you are dosed with a shot of fruit serum or something. Just picturize it. A scenario where you will be left with no other option than to be truthful and honest all round the clock. Wow, that would be quite a nightmare, wouldn't it? Now, coming back to our completely real and non fictional world, we will find that lies are actually pretty commonplace. People lie all the time, even for the most trivial of matters. If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe you. These were the words of Joseph Goebbels. And this quote is a story in itself, and it contains the crux of our discussion that the best defense against truth is the unwavering repetition of lies. The psychologists have a pretty fancy term for all this. They call it the illusionary truth effect or the illusion of truth. The illusion of truth was first discussed in a 1977 paper by Thomas Toppins and David Goldstein. They conducted their experiments on college students who didn't have any prior knowledge to the statements concerned. Later on, it was proved that even with prior knowledge, people tended to fall for the illusionary truth effect. Now, let me give you a more current example. In the wake of the COVID 19 pandemic, the need to find a cure, a treatment, and prevention protocol was at the top of everyone's minds, especially so in the case of politicians. The strategy adopted by the former US President Donald Trump and his supporters was to repeatedly claim that a drug named hydroxychloroquine did wonders against the SARS CoV 2 virus. And this is a brilliant example on how politicians pull wool over the people's eyes and capitalize the illusionary truth effect. Even now, when various trials and experiments shows that the drug in question isn't that effective against COVID-19, the belief still stands. We all like to think of ourselves as rational creatures who don't fall for the vices of misinformation, but that is not always the case. Even the most well informed person falls prey to misinformation every now and then. You would like to think that no rational being accepts a fact without critical examination, would they? Unfortunately, humans are rarely rational creatures. They have to make an average of around 35,000 decisions every day. With such a mammoth number of decisions and huge barrel of information that comes towards them in every second, they aren't able to process most of it, to be honest. To conserve our limited mental energy, we rely on many shortcuts, which can also be called as heuristics, to help with the onslaught of information. Familiarity adds a whole new angle to this illusion of truth effect. When we are repeatedly exposed to an information, we tend to believe it, however unlikely it may seem. Coming to the relevance of this particular psychological effect, that is the illusionary truth effect or the illusion of truth, politicians tend to use this effect to exploit the common people relentlessly. Even Adolf Hitler, in his autobiography Mein Kampf, wrote that slogan must be persistently repeated so that every last individual is able to grasp it. Clearly, it is in the lack of awareness per se. Instead, people should be aware of the illusionary truth effect or the illusion of truth to overcome it with practice and critical thinking. On that, I conclude my words and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
So thank you. Next, Chess number 2. Judges, please. Chess number 2 on the platform.
Repeat a lie often enough, and it becomes truth. A very pleasant day, everyone. I'm Lena Jose of Mar Gregorius College of Arts and Science, Chennai, here present before you to present my thoughts on a topic which made me think a lot. That is, the best defense against truth is always the unswerving repetition of lies. They told me to always speak truth. They told me to never find solace under the shelter of lies. But truth is ugly. Truth has a scarred face, and we don't love scarred faces, right? We humans tend to be attracted to pretty things and crave attractive objects. And there came the lie, with all its elegance and glamour, tantalizing the unstable minds. According to researchers, we tend to give more importance to repeated truths, which comes under the phenomenon called illusory truth effect. In a study, researchers used paired true and untrue events for the participants in the order that they could know the truth in the right form. But all the participants chose the repeated truth or the fluency rather on the accessible information they had. We all know that truth can never be concealed. Truth can never be overcome by lies. A lie can never survive the power of the grace of truth. So we build the fort of lies just to conceal a chest of truth. We connected chains of lies to keep the truth to never dangle off the fort's walls of that fort. And here we are, standing in the midst of lies. We lied every day, even for matters that doesn't matter. We use lie as the best defense against truth. We are being lied, and we lied our whole lives. They say life is a lie. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. They say that I see a potential in you, which is a potential lie. But we believe in it and are fighting every day to make that lie come true. Decades ago, they said that we have the power to change the status of our motherland. We believed and strived hard for it, and there came the dawn of independence. People said that blind people cannot achieve anything. But Keller didn't believe this truth which was served to her. And there came the author of great works, whose eyes became the lamp of the imperceptive. If Einstein believed in what people taught, if Edison trusted the truth of him being impotential, if Hawking nodded yes to his incapabilities, if Mary Combe set her standards low to the truth she fought, if Shakespeare scripted off his illiteracy to be real, we would have never had any creations ever so far. Because sometimes of ignoring a fact can also become a life-changing moment in the dawn of new era of truth. Because sometimes one petite lie could change the fate of truth forever. One lie could change the direction of your life. One lie could change you. Choose it wisely. Thank you.
Hello, am I audible?
Next,
Hello.
we are moving on with test number 3. Judges, please note test number 3 on the platform.
Um, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. You can start.
Okay. Good morning to our respected panel and judges and to the rest of the participants. Repeat a lie often enough and it becomes the truth. Is a law of propaganda that is often attributed to the Nazi Joseph Goebbels. Among psychologists, this is known as the illusion of truth effect. So, if every time you heard something, you assessed it to everything that you already knew, you would be thinking about breakfast at supper time. But we need to make quick judgments, so we rely on shortcuts. One of these shortcuts is relying on how often we've heard something to judge how truthful something is. So, if repetition is the only thing that influences what we believe in, we would be in big trouble. But that isn't the case. We tend to bear more extensive powers of reasoning, but these are a limited resource. Our minds are easy prey to this illusion of truth effects, since we rely on shortcuts to decide if something is plausible. It often works, but it can be very misleading. We all tend to believe that we are impervious to misinformation. But the fact is, even the most educated, the most intellectual individual is prone to fall for this illusion of truth effect. We live in this age of social media where misinformation can spread like wildfire and it can reach a global audience. It is evident from the statistics that international politics is influenced by online propaganda campaigns, especially when these are run by famous celebrities and actors who know that all they have to do to help a lie gain traction is to simply repeat it over and over again. Now, I might sound overdramatic, but this is a threat to our democracy and the cohesion of our societies. Now, more than ever, we have to be aware that the way we assess the accuracy of information is biased. We live in a world where facts matter, and facts should matter. And if we repeat or share something without verifying it or bothering to check if it's true, we are helping to create a world where truth and lies are easier to confuse. So I'd like to end by saying that the only possible answer for this is critical thinking. It might sound like a very boring and obvious answer, but that is the best thing we can do to avoid falling for the illusion of truth effect. Thank you.
Am I audible?
So thank you. Next, we are moving on with chess number 4. Judges, please note chess number 4 on the platform.
Excuse me, am I audible? Can you
Yes,
hear
are
me?
audible. You can start.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good day to all. Carrots improve your eyesight. Vitamin C cures common cold. We only use 10% of our brain. Let me tell you, none of this is true. But the facts doesn't actually matter because people would repeat them very often and we believe them to be true. So introducing today's topic. The best defense against truth is the unswearing repetition of lies. Welcome to this illusionary truth effect, a glitch in the human psyche that equates repetition with truth. A psychologist from the University of Toronto, Lynn Hastel, once said, repetition makes things seem even more plausible. When our brain comes across a new information, what it does to categorize it as truth is, it sees whether we are familiar with the information and it sees that whether it's applicable to our rationality. And researchers have actually showed that this familiarity has a upper hand over rationality, and we tend to believe that familiar things are often true. This is because our brain interprets its frequency as a signal for something to be true. This is what happens. Even though we might not be aware of this, the people around us are very much aware. We have seen multitudes of advertisements that say us that in order to get attracted to an opposite sex, we should have perfumated body odors, a very refreshing sting in the mouth. And we go behind this perfumated body odors and refreshing stings, right? And the politicians, they come up with multitudes of claims and less than 2% of the facts. This is because even though they might not have read Mein Kampf of Adolf Hitler, they might be familiar with this dictum which says, slogans should be persistently repeated until the very last individual has come to grasp the idea. Thus, they reinforce information, and reinforce information, giving us the illusion that it is the truth. And we say that we were once colonized. The Britishers came and colonized us once. And we say that now we're out of colonization. They came with the civilizing burden, the white man's burden, and they told us that our culture was inferior, and we thought, believe them. And even now, we have kids in the CBSE and the ICC school going with the uniforms which have shoes and socks on in this hot climate. Are we out of colonization? And we tell young boys and girls that boys should not cry, girls should look beautiful, charming, presentable. Aren't we giving them illusions of truth? For these little minds, this might be the truth. They might think that it is the truth. They might mistake that it is the truth. The patriarchy, they tell us a lot of things. Girls should not speak louder. They should not sit with their legs wide apart. The quotes which come up on Women's Day, on Mother's Day, which actually tries to give us an idea that women is the epitome of suffering, of patience, of sacrifice, of subservience. Isn't it a manipulating technique? Aren't they presenting this as truths in order to convince us that that is the truth? All this is told under the illusion of truth. But let me tell you, it is not actually easy to correct people who believes in the so-called lies. Citing the example of Galileo Galilei, who actually expanded upon the theory of heliocentric model. And when he told that that was right, people told that he was guilty, he was being heretical, and he died a life of bitter and sorrow. So let me tell you, it is in our hands to decide. We should understand that a truth is still a truth, even if no one repeats it. And a lie is always a lie, even if hundreds and multitudes of people repeat it. So the ball is in our court, and let us decide against the illusion of truth. Thank you.
So thank you. Next, we are moving on with chess number 5. Judges, please note chess number 5 on the platform.
With repeating the same lie often enough, it becomes the truth. This is a famous quotation by the infamous Nazi propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels. Respected teachers and my dear friends, I'm going to speak a bunch of words on the topic, which is quite interesting as well as quite relevant in the present global scenario. That is, the best defense against truth is to repeat the same lie again and again. There are a lot of scientific explanations which tells us the importance of repeating. If you repeat the same sentence again and again, people will tend to believe that that particular statement is true, irrespective of any scientific proof against it or whether any evidence is behind it. This is scientifically called the illusion or truth, or in other words, the reiteration theory. There are a lot of real-life examples in front of us where repetition is used every day. Advertising. The basic structure, the basic function of advertising is done on the basis of repetition or iteration. For example, a hair oil manufacturing company always advertises by repeating the same statement again and again that customers, please come and use our hair oil and your hair fall will end. The poor people who are searching day and night for a solution to their hair fall will be so much attracted to that advertisement and they will go and buy that product, irrespective of thinking whether that hair oil is useful or not, or whether there is a strong evidence behind it. So the advertisement companies are exploiting that urgency of the people. With repetition, it is easier for the human mind to process a statement because it creates fluency. And there's a human perception that fluency increases the understanding, or it is an evidence for truthfulness. Political parties are another persons who are the strong messengers of this propaganda. They always give us lot of promises. During electoral campaigns, they give us a lot of statement. They repeat the same statement again and again that please come and vote for our party and you will be received with no illiteracy, zero hungry and zero poverty. But none of these promises are kept. That is an pathetic condition. Napoleon Bonaparte, in one of his speeches, once said that repetition is the most important figure in the rhetoric. Marcus Anto, one of the Roman statesmen, often used to repeat the same sentence again and again at the end of his speeches. He used to say, furthermore, Carthage must be destroyed. And many still believe that by telling this sentence again and again, it has led to the Third Munich War. And that's the power of repetition. In the present global scenario also, during the COVID-19 pandemic, has become a stage for the widespread spreading of this fake news, misinformation, and conspiracies. One of the concrete example of misinformation was a Belgian newspaper published an article that the 5G radiations, the 5G cellular network radiations is the cause for coronavirus spreading. And this article circulated a lot. Through Twitter accounts, this news spread a lot. And a recent survey proved that 5% of the residents in UK still believed in this article. They still are blaming the 5G radiations for the spreading of coronavirus. This is a pathetic condition, my dear friends. Finally, how can we stop this misinformation? We have discussed a lot of problems. We have put forward a lot of examples of misinformation. Now the question of the hour is how can we prevent the spreading of misinformation? In my opinion, there are two ways. The first way is to establish stringent laws and punishments, giving larger and bigger punishments to the people for spreading misinformation. If the culprits are given minimal or minuscule punishments, they would have a tendency to repeat it often. But if they are given stronger, harder punishments, they would not repeat it again. And the second way is to nurture good values among human beings. And how? From the childhood onwards. We should put manure at the seed stage only. There is no use of giving manure or fertilizers when they are grown up. So from childhood onwards, they should be nurtured with good values and principles. For that, students must be given proper morals and principles. Apart from just cramming of textbooks and scoring high marks, they must be given importance to having a good personality. The importance must be given to nurture good values and principles. Then there will be a tendency of spreading only truth and do not spread misinformation. Hoping for a bright future, hoping for a bright tomorrow, I conclude my words. Thank you. Ma'am, my speech is over, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So next we are moving on with chest number 6. Judges, please note chest number 6 on the platform.
May I begin?
Yes, you can start.
Okay. Honorable judges, respected teachers, and fellow participants, good morning. So, the daringly provocative book Intimacies by Leo Bersani is actually discussing new ways of thinking. And it's from one of those chapters that the quote, the best defense against truth is the unswerving repetition of lies. And this quote is highly germane to the current times and is the topic I'll be speaking on today. Now, Bersani inserts this quote in the context of war against terror, implying that oftentimes powerful people blurt out lies in order to cover up the truth, which ends up becoming elusive to common man. Now, the war, so he explains how the grief of Americans was actually strategically weaponized and manipulated by the American political system. Why? To fuel yet another war, the mighty war against terror, which, on the cunning pretext of fighting terrorism, when actually its secret mission was the systematic conquest of the Middle Eastern countries. Now, Bersani limits to this one single example in his chapter, but our present and past is teeming with many more examples. Like we have Plato, who propounds the idea of a noble lie in his work, The Republic, in which he says that a noble lie is a lie which is propagated by the elite in order to maintain social harmony or to let's say to advance a social agenda. Now, and if we have examples. We have the 20th century, which is reported as the most murderous in the record history, with a total of 187 million deaths reported. That was more than 10% of the world's population in the year 1913. And we have America, that bombed Japan and called it the quickest and mildest possible way to end war. And we have the Holocaust that still horrifies the world, which was campaigned as a service to humanity. And during the Second World War, Winston Churchill made his famous statement that in wartime, truth is a special commodity and she should be guarded by the bodyguards of lies, which was a clear statement of subterfuge and deceit. Now, even today, we hear controversies masked as fights for equality of gender, caste, and religion, when they are actually propagated by the mainstream society to for their own selfish needs. Now, politicians deem this need for lying as a necessity. They deem it as a necessity, whereas the mainstream society deems it as a privilege. Now, we can all agree to the fact that we are yet to be decolonized. That is, we are still the cultural inferiority which was instilled in our minds by our colonizers it's another lie which still runs rampant and causes us to glorify the West, forsaking everything that we should be actually holding dear and taking pride in. And then men similarly spread the notions of superiority, that is, when they say that women should be confined to the four walls of their house because they're inferior. And this is actually another lie which has less to do with the disparity of sex and more to do with the guarding of this sanctimonious patriarchal system. Now, today, luckily, during the course of years, we've come to spot lies and call out liars. But my question is, have we uncovered the truth? Sadly, no. We still hear of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict which is going on and the blood that is being shed every day. So, and when you ask why, they say it's for world peace. It is is definitely the simplest answer, but sadly, that is the farthest from truth. So, like Arundhati Roy accurately pointed out in the Laura Flanders show, we are all drugged by the drug of Netflix, Amazon Prime, looking at realities which have nothing to do with us and forgetting our own. And this, it's extremely dangerous. So it is high time that we wake up and we start unraveling the truth, which is deeply tangled in the myriad of lies that our leaders and those in power have so carefully and so skillfully weaved. That's all. Thank you.
So thank you. The participants who completed their competition should leave the live stream platform. They can watch the competition directly from the YouTube live. Next, moving on with chess number 7. Judges, please note chess number 7 on the platform.
Ma'am, I hope I'm audible and clear.
Yes, you are audible. You can start.
Slogans should be persistently repeated such that every last individual has come to grasp the idea. Well, this statement was written by Adolf Hitler in his book Mein Kampf. I'm sure he didn't know the term illusory truth effect, but he indeed knew what the concept was. A very warm good morning to all of you. I am chess number 7. When Leo Bersani in his book Intimacies wrote that the best defense against truth is always the unswerving repetition of lies, he was indeed right. So let's get into this topic, which is illusionary truth effect. We have to understand that it is a tendency to believe that a false information is right through repeated exposure. This phenomena was first identified in 1977 at a study conducted in the Villanova University and the Temple University. My dear friends, we all know that when truth is assessed, the people, they often rely on their understanding, and also if they feel it is familiar, they think that it is truth. Well, we always go for the logical aspect that whether we compare this new information to what we already know to be true. So, repetition allows this information to be processed easily, which makes us think that a statement which is new and unrepeated is not the truth, but rather the one which is repeated again and again. We know that when we are in the most toughest point in our lives, when we feel that nothing is possible, we tend to tell ourselves that I am powerful, I am strong, I am a winner. Well, these are simply affirmations so that we can make ourselves believe that it is possible. Well, this works with the same principle, isn't it? Even if in the most toughest of the situations, we tend to tell ourselves, we tend to create a new reality for ourselves, which might be quite different from what is actually there. Well, we also know that we have raised the entire generation of women, telling them that they are bad drivers, that they are very emotional. But we know that this case is not true. But still, there are many people who believe it is true because it's been definitely repeatedly told to us. We also know that our poor Othello, he loved his wife Desdemona so much. But when Iago confronted him with repeated lines that Desdemona was somehow cheating with him, there it implanted a matter or a seed of jealousy in his mind, and he doubted his own wife and killed her. Moving on, a 2015 study showed that familiarity overpowers rationality. A student in the experiment who was quite sure of the answer in the first go, but when was faced with repeated false statements, the truth. We all tend to say that that we should destroy the community. Cases Hello, ma'am.
You can continue.
Okay, ma'am.
Only
Okay.
2 minutes allowed because of your net issue.
Okay, ma'am. So, when advertisement, we see an advertisement every single time repeatedly hearing, we believe that it is the truth. We all believe that, okay, Complan is the reason for our energy. Also, when the corona pandemic started, we all were very eager to know the cause, the treatment. And there was this fake news being spread in WhatsApp, which said that, if you stand for 5 hours in the sunlight, then all you would be disease free. We all now know that it's not true, but when it was spreading, there were so many cases, so many incidents, so many people repeatedly saying it, which made people believe, half of the population still believe that that is the true case. We all know that truth is somewhat hidden. Truth is difficult to comprehend. Truth is difficult to be found. In a world of lies, where if you repeat things, you tend to believe it is true. It is on us. It is on the humans to find that. We have to work towards finding the truth. If we look closely, we can of course find truth. In a world full of lies, if it's difficult for you, of course we should trust the human judgment and human belief to find truth and unconquer the truth. I would end my speech by saying that Mark Antony said in his speech that Brutus is an honorable man, but we know how much truth is in there. Thank you so much.
So thank you. Next, we are moving on with chess number 10. Judges, please note chess number 10 on the platform.
Good morning, respected judges and virtual viewers. The maxim, the best defense against truth is always the unswerving repetition of lies, is it is understood by psychologists um, as the light of it is always understood by psychologists as the illusion of truth effect. This effect plays a major role in how we perceive the world. And the things that are most familiar to us feel more real because of the presence of a mechanism in our brains which is called as cognitive ease. This cognitive ease is the measurement of how hard the brain works. It ranges from different situations, like when we are scrolling through Facebook, to when we try to calculate complex mathematical equations. This cognitive ease can be elicited only by true real things. And this is brought about by and this can only be true real things. But unfortunately, the cognitive ease can also be generated through a fake sense of familiarity. This technique has been made use by the digital era to spread misinformation and false news. Misinformation has been parading throughout the coronavirus pandemic, as many of us have pointed out. And it led to a very severe situation when even the Prime Minister Narendra Modi had to interfere and make sure that the situation does not get any more worse than this. Many researchers also show that Donald Trump won the elections only due to the spread of fake news across Facebook. Politics is always about the repetition of misinformation and also lies that is used to shape public opinions. In Nazi Germany, Adolf Hitler made use of a method called as the big lie. What it means is that to lie so outlandishly that it depends on that ground to make sure that whoever lies will, that people will have a sense of that no one will rely so much. And this went on to become Hitler's most popular political propaganda. In countries like North Korea, too, people are persuaded by the media to follow the dictator Kim Jong, even despite of many of his despicable activities that he does, and people don't even want to leave the society that mirrors the George Orwell's Oceania. And advertisers also make use of the illusionary truth effect so much, where they try to influence the opinions and the preferences of consumers. For example, the term puffing means to claim unnecessary long promises about a product that is not even true. It does tarnish the reputation of the company, but later on it is revealed that after a long run it is made useful for the company. And this is the whole core of advertising industry, because when we view advertising, it is always based on the simple message that no matter how silly it is, if you repeat it long enough, then people will tend to believe it. Like even the brown carbonated drink can also be sold off. In a world that is filled with truth that is ambiguous, where lies are masqueraded as truth, we have to make sure that the true knowledge stands superior to everything. As George Orwell famously said, in the times of deceit, it is our right to express the truth freely, and this would be the greatest revolution that humanity would have ever seen. So let us all resort to truth so that our society does not end up like Oceania. Thank you.
So thank you. Next, we are moving on with chess number 11. Judges, please note chess number 11 on the platform.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. You can start.
A warm good morning to all. Myself Shafnasi from St. Aloysius College. In today's modern world, there is a vast information that is easily accessible to us in the thumb of our hands. In that world, truth and lie are not binary. Repetition of words, repetition of sentences makes us to think that they are the truth. We rely upon a lot of sources, but we don't check the credentials of the sources. Truth is constructed, manipulated, and propagated by certain politicians and medias, Eurocentric medias. When you read a statement for the second time, your brain has a natural tendency to think that that is the truth, and you do not check the trustworthiness of that source. In present day, this is what has been used by Adolf Hitler. He did wrote down that the slogans should be repeated again and again until the last individual comes to grasp the idea. In the present day, we have a lot of advantages. And then in that day, this alteration of truth is more used to as an advantage for the authoritarian nations. But it was not always the same case. Previously, before the actual beginning of the conception, what happened was, in the totalitarian regimes, this alteration of post-truth and the these alterations were used to actually defend and reject the ideas caused by the totalitarian regimes and their ideologies. And how today that the same propaganda is being used to support these authorities? The answer is simple. The propaganda and the national policies, the political lies have been adapted to the modern world. So if you take today's example, the current world, we are witnessing a lot of war, but that is not being reported as it should be. People are getting, the middle class family and the third world countries are getting exact information up to date secondly. But if you think about it, they are not being informed about the history or the causes of that war. In the current situation, the US policies, NATO expansion, and all those political issues are not being explained as it should have been, which is where the lies, the repetition of lies comes. And the Eurocentric medias are just provocating the third world countries. Lying works. It checks clicks, it increases ratings, it increases votes. Actually, lying is really profitable business, but it is an existential crisis. It is an existential threat to democracy. A social psychologist would say there just needs to be a single piece of information for a human being to believe a conspiracy theory, and also just a single piece of information to not believe it. Now imagine a world full of flooded with information just away from your click. It is all filled with conspiracy theories and actual truth. Now, how do we know to separate these two? We can solve this issue in two methods. First one is by monitoring the medias. They need to make new algorithms to monitor the media and only provide actual current actual truths about the newses. And and it's not just about the media, it's also about what we should be doing, because at the end of it all, we are the ones at the receiving end. So what could we do? We should educate young people on civics and media literacy. And by civics, I mean history of the nation, by the laws of a country, how a system should be working. And by media literacy, they should be taught how to navigate through a system full flooded with information. They should be able to separate between hoax and true informations. So there should be constant auditing for everything, and that is the only way that we could do as a defense for this repetition of lies. With that, I conclude my speech. Thank you.
Respected dignitaries, coordinators.
1 minute, 1 minute. Please wait.
Okay.
Thank you. We are moving on with chess number 9. Judges, please note chess number 9 on the platform and you can start.
Respected dignitaries, coordinators of this mega competition, and my dear friends, a warm good morning to all of you. First of all, I would like to express my humble gratitude to get a chance to participate in this mega competition, the Centenary Memorial English Elocution Competition conducted by St. Thomas College, Thrissur. So today, I am speaking about the topic, the best defense against the truth is always the unswearing reputation of the lies. So we must say in English that you will have to tell hundreds of lies to make a lie true. But still, a lie is a lie. The topic speaks about it. When you try to make a lie, you will have to come with lots of lies. But still, ultimately, the truth only will be succeed. You cannot defeat truth by telling any number of lies. The lies may give you momentary wins and victories, but any victory, any success that the lie will be is short-lived. What happens if that takes some times, the truth will be come out. So it's proven that we can never hide a truth or defeat a truth with lies. So we must stand for righteousness. Maybe telling a truth is sometimes attract criticism or its effect negative result for some moments. But telling truth is make us a lot of ultimate success. Telling truth may sometimes bitter, but we cannot object the bitter taste of medicine. The bitter taste of the medicine maybe sometimes its lives. Medicine becomes life-saving subjects sometimes, better sometimes. So you cannot object the bitter taste of medicine and say no to the medicine. So that telling truth may sometimes cost us little. At any cost, we must follow righteousness. Never try to defeat truth with a lie. I felt that in a simple example, that is our political system. Our political leaders were gave us lots of lies in the election campaigns. They said orally and wrote in their election manifesto some promises, but most of the promises they didn't do, and they were hide that things and by some kind of lies, some problems, and some other talks. So finally, I would conclude my words with a quote that the truth will hurt for the little while, but a lie hurts forever. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Next, we are moving on with chess number 8. Judges, please note chess number 8 on the platform. Excuse me, you are not audible. Do you have a earphone or headphone with you to connect? Please try using that. Still, you are not audible. You're having some issue with your mic. So sometimes it may be the issue with your gadget. So can you try to log in with your mobile phone?
Hello. Am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible,
Okay,
so you
just
can start. Judges, please note this is the final participant of the event, chess number 8 on the platform.
Hello, can I start? Can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible, you can start.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, you are audible, you can start.
Am I audible now? Hello. 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 Am I audible?
Hello, you can start.
Hello. Hello. Okay. A very warm morning to one and all, respected judges and my dear friends. Today I'm here to deliver a speech on the topic the best way. Sorry for the interruption. Good morning, all, respected judges and my dear friends. Today I'm here to deliver a speech on the topic the best defense against truth is always the unswearing repetition of lies. Repeat a lie 1,000 times and it becomes the truth. It is a Nazi propaganda, which is attributed to the Nazi Joseph Goebbels. They often say that it is the Englishmen's sayings and it is them who practice it during the First and Second World War. They control the media and the institutions, and they master this art perfectly during the Second World War. In George Orwell's novel 1984, he clearly uses the fictitious use of uh, his. It's like the slogan: freedom. It is war as peace, freedom as slavery, and ignorance as strength. We know that the repetition of lie makes it a truth. We can know it from the various advertisements and the false testimonies that are made by the great actors and other prominent men. Many of them give advertisements on the various facial creams and other products in which we get influenced by the false testimony of the great actors, sportsmen, etc. We know that even when we know that it doesn't make any sense, we try to use it. In case of some chains and bracelets, some people says that if you use it, then it brings you fortune. So even after knowing it, we buy it. We know that it's a myth, but we still buy it. Let me take you to an incident that happened in the history in 1975. There happened a revolt in Ramlila Maidan. It was a revolt against the prime minister of that time. But the prime minister was very tactful enough. What she did was she telecasted a blockbuster movie of that time in the Doordarshan, and this prevented many of the people from going the rides and they sit back and enjoy this movie in their homes. I have seen another movie in a particular language in which the hero commits a murder, and in order to save himself from it, what he did was he tried to manipulate the things. He tried to create his own lies and he shared it with the people around him. And what happened because of that is that he repeated his lies again and again and again. Gradually, people started believing his lies rather than the actual facts. So, this shows that lies, when we use a lie again and again, it leads to the belief. People will believe it again and again. Let me quote something from our literature. In Julius Caesar by Shakespeare, we can see that there is a character named as Brutus who constantly tried to create a defame to Julius Caesar. In that situation, it was Mark Antony's one speech that transformed everything. Friends, Romans, and countrymen. In that single speech, what he was able to achieve was that he was able to transform the negative character of Julius Caesar into something positive. He, within one speech, he was able to bring the innocence of Caesar. I would like to share with you an experiment that was conducted that was conducted by the Michigan University, in which they had, it's not try, they had actually put on some ads on the school newspapers, and in those ads they tried to figure out some nonsense words. In one of the paper, in for one nonsense word was, it was put only one time, and the other word frequently used like 10, 20, 30, etc. After their experiments, what the researchers did was they sent a questionnaire to the public and asked them to fill the questionnaire and rate the meaning of these nonsense words, scaling from very good to too bad. And what we found was that the findings were very clear that the nonsense words which was used frequently, it was considered to be the best, or it was considered to be the good one, and it was more familiar. So no matter whether we use a nonsense word or not, it is completely depending upon how repeatedly we use that. The more, so let me conclude my words by saying that the more the thing is repeated, the more it starts to feel true. Thank you. Hello.
So thank you. This was our last participant. Now let's wait for a while for the preparation of result by judges.
Hello. Very good afternoon, one and all. At the outset, let me begin by thanking this prestigious institution, St. Thomas's College Autonomous Thrissur, for giving me this opportunity to be on the judging panel of this competition, which is much looked forward to by the public speaking community, is what I understand. And this is my second time here. And as usual, the experience has been very, very pleasant and very encouraging to see members of the young oratory community to come forward and address issues of great relevance. A big congratulations to the organizing committee for coming up with such a wonderful topic. On behalf of the entire judging panel, this is what I'd like to share with the participants before announcing the results of the Centenary Memorial National Elocution Competition. So let me congratulate each one of the participants. All of you have done a wonderful job, and like I told you, it's been a delight to be on this end of the lectern, to listen to your thoughts, your observations, and to see how you have prepared and how well you have engaged in this competition. So it has been a pleasure, and at the same time, as the judging panel, we would like to share some of our thoughts on how we feel you can develop as public speakers and orators. So here are a few things. As the topic was already given to all of you, you must have used all the resources at your disposal to prepare for the topic. But you must understand that there is nothing as refreshing as original thought. So before you log on to your gadgets and devices, before you take the help of the all-knowing internet, sit down quietly and write down your observations and your understanding of the topic and add that to your speech to make it different from the other participants. Now, if you listen to all the participants, you would notice a lot of common points. This can be avoided if you begin and end with subjective thoughts and your own experiences and your understanding of the topic. All right. That being said, I must also stress that after the little research that you do and after all the points that you jot down and the speech that you prepare, you must ensure that all your facts are in place. See to it that you don't misquote sentences and statements, and that you give due acknowledgement to where certain quotes or certain facts are taken from. Also, although we don't think that you should speak the exact British English that is spoken by native speakers, there are certain grammatical rules that you must follow so that your language is pleasing to the ears of your audience. All right. So there are some basic grammatical and English rules that you must not go wrong with. For instance, the use of articles, right? And pay close attention to the use of phrases and idioms that you use. I would also caution you against using casual and informal expressions in a public speaking competition. All right. So that's also something that I felt you all could avoid. Then something that can set apart your speech is to add an element of surprise. Like we all like punch statements, don't we? So you should see to it that there is something that will surprise your audience and catch their attention so that they look forward to every moment of your 5-minute speech. So all of you did a very good job. Also see to it that you maintain an oratorial style. You are not explaining something to your friends. You are presenting statements and facts and your thoughts. All right. So that being said, let me once again congratulate all of you. You've done a wonderful job, and we're very happy to see you participating in this competition. So now, with the permission of the organizing committee and the permission of my co-judges, Professor E.D. John and Madam Reshma Kejos, I take this opportunity to announce the results. Head of the department, Anto sir, with your permission, and Anu ma'am, the coordinator. The results for the Centenary Memorial English Elocution National Level Competition conducted at St. Thomas's College Autonomous Thrissur. The third prize goes to chess number 6. Third prize goes to chest number 6. Second prize goes to chest number 1. Second prize goes to chest number 1. First prize goes to chest number 7. First prize, chest number 7. Hearty congratulations, chest numbers 7, 1, and 6. The consolation prizes that are being given away today, 5 in number, goes to the following chest numbers. The following chest numbers are being read out in the order of the chest numbers. Chest numbers 3, 4, 5, 8. Consolation prizes go to chest numbers 3, 4, 5, 8, and 10. I believe we come to the end of the competition. Congratulations, and to every participant, all the very best. May you all become great orators and do our society, our community, and the nation proud. Thank you.
So once more, a big thank you for everyone who were with us this time, and also congratulations to all the winners. By this, we have come to the end of our competition. Once more, thank you all.